One look at Tobey Maguire's face, and you already know what we're going to be talking about. That's right, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man. He's fast, he's nimble, he's strong, and best of all, he fights for justice. In fact, Spider-Man embodies a lot of good qualities of a superhero. But if there's one thing that Spider-Man excels in, well, he could really take a beating. In Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man suffers a lot of damage in the hands of Doc Ock. But if there's one thing that we know, Spider-Man could take a beating. He's tough. He'll stop at nothing to save the people of New York. He even gets hit by an oncoming train and just takes it like a champ. But Doc Ock's next stunt really takes a toll on Spider-Man. After destroying the controls to the train, Doc Ock flees.
You have a train to catch.
Spider-Man is left alone to stop a runaway train and deal with this guy. Surely, stopping this train is going to be no easy feat. How is Spider-Man going to do this? At first, Spider-Man tries to stop the train by using his legs, which he quickly finds out is far too painful for even him to handle.
Any more bright ideas?
I got a few. Yeah.
So Spider-Man comes up with a new idea. By webbing either side of the train over and over again, he plans to slowly bring the train to a halt, which is a pretty good idea given the circumstances. But how much force is this going to put on Spider-Man's body? And will his body be able to take it? We need to know a few things first in order to answer this question. First off, we need to know how fast the train is going, which I estimated was 80 miles an hour. Converting to metric units, 80 miles an hour is equal to 35.8 meters per second. Next, we need to know how far the train traveled. In this shot, we can approximate that the train travels about 5 city blocks, which in New York is about 264 feet per block. This leaves us with 1,320 feet, which is equal to 402.3 meters. Lastly, we need to find out how much a typical train car weighs. A typical train car weighs about 75,000 pounds, or 34,019.4 kilograms, which explains why Spider-Man sounds like... Next, we need to find the acceleration that the train experiences. We use this kinematic equation to show that the final velocity squared equals the initial velocity squared plus 2 times the acceleration times the distance that the train traveled. If we know the train comes to a stop, then we know the final velocity is 0. We've also found the initial velocity already to be 30.8 meters per second, and the distance that the train travels is 402.3 meters. Which leaves us with our acceleration, which is what we're looking to find. 30.8 squared equals 1,278.8. We then move that number to the other side of the equation. Whether it's positive or negative doesn't matter so much because we already know the direction. We then divide each side of the equation by 804.7 in order to get a by itself. We find that the acceleration is 1.59 meters per second squared, which actually doesn't seem like that much, but we have to take into account how heavy the train is. Our force equation states that force equals mass times acceleration. We know that each train car weighs 34,019 pounds. Our mass in this case is that number times 5, giving us a force of 270,454 newtons. That's about 60,800 pounds of force, or 30,400 pounds of force on each of Spider-Man's arms. That's like holding up an RV car in each arm. So you can't really blame him when he makes this face. That much force should be enough to rip your arms off, but somehow Spider-Man survives. Maybe it's just movie magic. Maybe there's a scientific explanation as to why a radioactive spider bite would make it so your arms can't get ripped off. Or maybe Spider-Man is just cool like that. In any case, Spider-Man is able to finally stop the train after much strife. Maybe it doesn't matter how or why Spider-Man was able to stop the train. Maybe all that matters is that he did stop the train, and he saved these people. He is their hero. they hoist his dead body over their heads in worship. Truly a good man to worship and a hero. Spider-Man will be missed.